I'm struggling with one of my reports. I feel like they just don't listen to me. What could I do to make this relationship easier?
I'm going to encourage you to think that passive resistance might be in play. And upon reflection, if that's what you think it is, then I'd encourage you to consider whether or not it's going to work out with this person. So I'll tell you what I mean by that. So we all know what being aggressive is. It's someone arguing with us, like clearly arguing and being like verbally aggressive, intellectually aggressive, sometimes physically aggressive. So that's like aggressive, right? Like alpha type people, but it doesn't even have to be that. It can just be people who are just like really argumentative. Passive aggressive. Passive aggressive, someone's being aggressive in a passive way, like rolling their eyes like, okay, buddy, like, oh yeah, I guess I'll do that thing, even though I think it's a waste of time. So we all know what passive aggressive is. Passive resistance is a term that I made up 10 years ago or something. And I got to tell you, this is like super, super common. It's people who have the appearance of agreeing with us, while in reality have no intention at all of doing the thing that they said they're going to do or that we've asked them to do. So the way that passive resistance comes out is people totally listen to us. They take down notes. They're like, yep, no problem. I'll totally go and do that. And then they just don't do it. Or it could be someone taking notes and listening to you and also being like, oh, wow, what a great idea. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. And then just not doing that thing that's going to do. It could also just be someone being silent, listening and nodding and taking notes and not going out and doing it. The through line here is that it's a delaying action. And like most people don't expect that if you ask someone to do something and they agree to do it, that they won't do it. That's like not our front line of reasoning. And that's why passive resistance can be like a real effective tool from a delaying action. It's that usually what we do is we put it back on us. So from this question, it's just like you're thinking, well, what else can I do? I've tried this, I've tried that, you're in that reflective stage of like, it's me. I'm not being clear enough. I'm not being direct enough. I don't have a good enough relationship with them. I'm not being like tough enough or not being buddy enough. When people use passive resistance, the whole idea is like, it gets you to think I'm not doing something right because this person, if I did it just right, they would do the thing I'm asking them to do or they'd operate differently. But that's the whole idea. People use passive resistance as a training tactic for their manager. And so their manager is constantly in this like weird loop of trying to do it in a different way just for this person. Even though you're effective with everyone else, there's something about your incompetence with this person that's causing this. Maybe flip it. Maybe it's an intentional tactic. So as you're speaking, they're literally thinking, I'm just going to say whatever it takes for you to shut up and go away so I can go off and do whatever I want to do. Now, you might be thinking like, oh my God, like who would do that? The answer is tons of people. And maybe even you've done that. I certainly know that I've done it where I've just like, for whatever reason, thought that I was like smarter than that other person. I just agreed with that, whatever they said, so they go away. I don't think it's that uncommon, but I will say if you've got someone who's chronically not listening to what you're asking them to do, not like hitting the marks, and it's like a clear thing, it's probably not a you thing, it's probably a them thing. And it's probably a something to do with passive resistance. So what I'd encourage you to do is from a place of trying to deal with passive resistance, just put everything in writing. Have a meeting with someone, ask them to do certain things, give them a timeline on it, but then follow up in writing with the exact, this is what I've asked you to do, and here's the timeline. If someone doesn't do it after that, usually they'll be like, oh, it wasn't clear enough. It wasn't this, it wasn't that. Again, that's like telltale passive resistance is they're trying to get you to like get super exacting in giving details. And what I'd encourage you to do is nobody professionally should need excruciating detail to do something. If that's the return, then you give them feedback on, as a professional, I would expect you to not need that level of excruciating detail to get things done. That's not what we're going to do. Here's the ask. This is how I want you to do it. Go out and execute, and then put it in writing. Be precise and then track. And if they don't make any changes in behavior and they keep trying to get you to get more and more detailed, or you didn't quite do it right, or you didn't do this right, then it's almost certainly passive aggressive or passive resistant. And if someone's being passive resistant, it is almost entirely not going to work out. And then you got to make a decision from there.